With global certifications in applied behavior analysis and over 20 years of international expertise in autism and ADHD intervention, Anton James is a trailblazer in neurodevelopment care. As founder of the Treehouse International and Merak, his pioneering work has earned him top honours from the British Psychological Society and the British Science Council. He is the first educational scientist of Sri Lankan origin to be named a Chartered Scientist by the Science Council UK. He joins Kaleidoscope Let's Talk to share his extraordinary journey. So you returned to Sri Lanka at a time when there was an exodus of professionals. What was your turning point that you wanted to come back and do something here?
I came to Sri Lanka many times before the crisis, and I have heard a lot of stories from parents about the situations. And I have a first-hand experience that I heard that parents told me that professionals told them that if you just go to mainstream school, things will be okay. They were told that autism was caused by parenting. They were told that the autism was caused by screen time. But then when it comes to treatment, the behavior therapist, the most evidence-based treatment, wasn't done by professionally certified and regulated people. And then I wanted to come back to Sri Lanka always to build a system based on science. When the crisis happened and then the situation got worse, so I thought that I should be returning.
You flipped the traditional narrative. Parents with special needs children, for the most part, if they can afford it, go abroad. Now you're trying to keep them here. What was driving this reverse migration?
What I have done is I came to Sri Lanka and I made sure that my school, the Treehouse International, every teacher is also certified and regulated behavior therapist. So in addition that the curriculum is developed it's a holistic curriculum, not primarily based on academics. The idea is to make the children independent, not to go to university. In addition, if they want to go to university, we can help that as well. More than 75% of the people in our school, they come from all over the world. If they've come from Caribbean countries, they come from Fiji, Japan, London, Canada, they come from all over the world. I'm really happy that people coming here rather than going abroad.
What are the most damaging misconceptions about ABA?
There are two most damaging misconceptions. The primary one is that the ABA is too structured. I think that's caused from, again, lack of regulation and people practicing without regulation. And if you go to media and go to YouTube and put ABA, all you see is a structured aspect of the ABA. But in ABA, there's something called naturalistic environmental teaching. This is not unstructured, it's very free, and it's totally opposite of what they see in the media. The second thing I would say that people have conception ABA uses punishment. Again, it goes back to lack of regulation, people practicing without being regulated. Our professional body specifically states that you have to use least restrictive procedures. Then once you are trained and you are competent, we don't have to go into punishment. It's part of our ethics. Because of the lack of regulation, these misconceptions are being formed.
So you created the Behavior Therapist Registration Board to bring legitimacy and oversight into the whole process. Why do you think that was necessary?
If you do a course in speech therapy, it doesn't make you a speech therapist. You have to have a supervision done. You have to be registered with the Sri Lankan Medical Council in the case of Sri Lanka. Same with behavior therapy. It's just like having a YouTube video or going for a training doesn't make you a behavior therapist. That is the realistic situation in Sri Lanka. There's not a single person in Sri Lanka before I came. They were actually certified and regulated by a professional body. In order to become a behavior therapist, you have to have the training, supervision, then continuing professional development after becoming certified, and you have to be bound by the ethical guidelines. And your work has to be supervised. And this is not being followed in Sri Lanka. And just to protect the public and also the profession, it was absolutely necessary to create this.
So Anton, your school, the Treehouse International, is the first of its kind. What were the barriers actually that you encountered when you were putting this together?
We were started in the middle of the financial crisis, and it's an international school. You can imagine how hard that would be, because all the embassies put out a notice that foreign students, citizens to leave. So we were international students have to leave at the time, but we remained open. That was the first barrier. Then after we passed that, it's a staffing issue because in Sri Lanka, there were no behavior therapists certified and regulated. So I have to personally train each and individual special needs teacher. That's the standard that we wanted to have, so that everyone is trained and qualified. Then in Sri Lanka, once you're trained and qualified, people wanted to go abroad for a better jobs, and that's just one thing. And also there are people within the Sri Lankan community, they like to spread a false narrative that ABA is not effective. And some people send false narrative, oh, why do you want to go to Treehouse? Because we can do it cheaper. Of course it will be cheaper if it's done by somebody who's not certified and regulated. So these false narratives were also part of the challenges that we had, but we have successfully overcome all of that, I would say.
So you've trained teachers and healthcare workers in some remote islands in the Maldives, for instance. What has that experience taught you?
Working in the Maldives was great. The Maldivian government really liked to collaborate, and we have collaborated with the Maldivian, directly with the presidential office, the Ministry of Education in the Maldives, Ministry of Social Services in the Maldives. They had came to Sri Lanka. They got our experience. I have been there several times to train people around the Maldives. In Sri Lanka, on the other hand, the government is very reluctant to change and bring something more evidence-based. What I have learned, and also the most important thing is we have 500,000 people, only 500,000 people in the Maldives, they regulate ABA. You cannot practice ABA without registering with the government. 500,000 people, we have 22 million people, there is no such a regulation. So what I have learned in this experience is that people are leaving the country, it's not because they don't like the country. It's that the people who are passionate and who are competent, they were not given the chance to do so.
So what's your next frontier other than the project?
Instead of building more schools, I thought that we had to build the system. So we successfully managed to bring a system that people are coming to Sri Lanka, which is good for the economy. So what we are doing in that system is that we charge a very high fee for foreign students. We are reinvesting the money into the society. We are giving free or reduced school fee for our local students, and we are investing into the major national initiative, autism awareness, behavior therapist registration board. We are doing various different investment. This model works. Our data shows it works. So in order to create a system, and also the mission of the Treehouse is to have evidence-based treatment available in the Indian Ocean. So in order to achieve that, we have to look at new schools, new geography, but more than that, we have to have a system ready to show that instead of we going outside for treatment, people can come inside and build our economy.
So good luck, keep going in doing all the good work you do.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Kaleidoscope is on 4 digital channels: YouTube, Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn. In case you miss out, do subscribe, follow and like us.